Good morning, everyone. This is Srikant, Rajan, and welcome back to the Stock Market Podcast from MPIinvest.com. Coming to the market yesterday, it was, like the markets have completely gone crazy. What's happening? It opens a gap down, and from there, falls down and then rises up, breaks the day's high, goes up. From there, again a fall. It was like a complete. Of course, the day did not end anywhere else. It finally, closed where it was, close to where it was open. But then in between, there was huge moves upwards and downwards. So it was overall a day of consolidation, I would say, but with huge volatility. So yes, we had expected this. This was something which we had discussed in the market yesterday. In fact, the India VIX has actually gone higher yesterday, and that was kind of taking up all the premiums in the option trading, and that's something which put us at Gold Club into slight trouble in the morning. But then we recovered, and we are actually sitting with some amazing profits already in hand. So yes, day was little tough, but then for a trader, but otherwise for a investor, of course, they don't have to mind. But then things are getting interesting right now. So yesterday we had a big selling. Of course, the way things were going on, we could see it was like a tug of war between the DIAs and the FIAs. So FIAs have continued to sell. In fact, they have sold again for more than 3,000 crores yesterday, and DIAs have continued to buy for almost 2,000 plus crores, which actually has led to this huge volatility in the market. So things are getting closed because today is a very important day. What is important? The most important thing is today China, India, US, all of these people are going to come up with the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, the inflation data. So this is something that is closely watched, and naturally the market is jittery just before that. And on top of that, today being the weekly expiry in the stock market, so that is going to add to the volatility. So of course today the volatility is going to continue, and and it will be uncertain. Right now the markets are in turbulent situation, like that's like you say in the aircraft, right? Wear your seatbelts and be steady, because the aircraft is going through a turbulent weather. So that's something that's happening in the Indian stock market as well. Turbulent weather in the stock market, and not only Indian stock market, across the globe, I would say. And that's simply by putting a lot of traders into trouble. So that's a part of the game when you're a trader. But then we are still proud that I'm sitting already personally with about more than 2% profit. And I'm sure in our community also we are sitting with, most of them are sitting in the green. So that is something really good, way to start our new year. The second week of new year is also doing really good for us. So that is something really fantastic. Now coming back to the market, after Indian markets closed yesterday, we could see the US markets continuing to go up. Yes. Yesterday, Dow was again up, S&P 500 was up, and Nasdaq was up close to 2%. So what led to the rally? So simple. Yesterday there was a survey done, one survey report that said that the US inflation is going to see some more degrowth. So that is something really good, right? That kind of sparked the rally. And if you see, Nasdaq has been continuously going up in the last 4 days. So one reason that could be is because if the if the interest rate hike kind of comes down, and then if the market is also seeing inflation going down, then the tech stocks which have been completely battered down can actually see some real good revenue. So probably there was huge buying coming in the tech stocks. Yesterday I could see even Tesla was up by more than 5%. Amazon was up. So all these stocks have actually given Nasdaq the power to continue the rally. But then here there is a major concern. What is the concern? Now, all these rises basically on the expectation that the inflation will be easing out. But if the data that is coming today gives an indication that the inflation is going up, then we could see a huge crash in the US market. So today could be a can be an important deciding day, I would say, because else if at all the inflation data comes higher, then the US can actually fall big, because it has been continuously rising for the last 4 days. So if their expectation is not met, that could be dangerous. So definitely holding positions today would be really really dangerous for traders. So I would say probably we would be, even at the MPA family would be holding like only about 20 to 30% of our capital deployed, or maximum up to 50% based on market condition. but at least 50% of the capital would be something that we would keep aside for safety for tomorrow. So that is the situation for now. So however, when there is an event tomorrow like that, the premiums also would go up today. So that is kind of expected. Now, another important news to be talking about in the US is HSBC came out with a survey and they say that this could be the last rate hike by Federal Reserve. That is, by Jan end, Jan last 3 days, there is again the monetary policy in the US, and there could be an expectation of another 0.5% rate hike. So with that, the Federal Reserve may stop increasing the rates, is what HSBC says. So if that is the case, then that's a great thing for the market. So these are all things which has kind of driven the US markets up. But the most interesting thing is when all these European markets, yesterday European markets also closed in the green. US market has been continuously closing in the green last 4 days. But Indian market has continuously been closing in the red in the last 4 days. So what's the weakness in India? So it's simple as what we've discussed today. It is the FIIs. The FIIs have been continuously selling, and that is what is kind of taking off all these levels in India. But then, like we've discussed, the day FIIs stop selling, that is a day probably we could see the market kind of settling up. Now, will the FIIs start buying or at least stop selling in this week? That would be an important thing to mark. So since the start of January, they've been continuously selling. So yesterday they've had a big sell of almost 3,000 plus crores. So with all this, when is this going to stop is the big question mark. So will this stop after the inflation data comes good? That's something that we need to watch out for today. So once today's inflation data is out, let us see what the FIs actually do tomorrow. But whatever happens today in the market could be attributed more of to the expiry, which is happening today. So that's for now. I would say these are some the factors which is actually affecting the Indian market. So now coming to today, if you look at the most important levels on the lower side, I would continue to say 17,800 is a very important support. Yesterday markets have closed just below 17,900. So 17,800 will continue to be important support. If 17,800 is broken, that could lead to more weakness. However, if it is broken today temporarily, we should not be minding about it because it could be part of the expiry volatility. On the higher side, 18,200 would be an important resistance. But as of now, my expectation for this day's expiry, I am expecting the market to kind of expire between 17,700 to 18,100. So this is my expectation, and my trades are also based on this. So this is for the important level for the day. So apart from that, if we look at some stock specific news, something very important. So yesterday, Tata Motors has been continuously in news for past couple of days. One, JLR sales have gone up. Indian sales are already doing good. Third point is they've just taken over the Sanand plant completely yesterday, and today they've also announced that they are focusing more on building more electric vehicle models even in the higher price range. So this is going to be yet another positive thing. So of course, do look out for Tata Motors looking at some good growth there. Apart from that, we could also see, TVS Motors also saying that they're going to invest in Madhya Pradesh for a new facility which will have more expansion plans for the EV project. So these are two stocks to be tracked. Along with that, Eicher Motors also has come forward and told that they are working on, Eicher Motors, they have a partnership with Volvo. So Volvo Eicher is working on alternate fuel systems for commercial vehicles as well. So all this is going to be seen as a positive. So auto sector would be in major focus for at least a couple of time now. So that is something which could be seen as a positive that side. Apart from that, the most important focus would be to IT sector, where HCL and Infosys are set to declare their quarterly results today in the evening. So we could see TCS, though the results were good, we could see TCS falling completely the next day. Definitely margins were good, and the only thing people felt was probably the order growth for the future guidance may not be good enough. So probably that could be reason why the TCS has gone down. But TCS is an amazing stock, and I would say this is just a good phase for accumulation. So that now it is important to look at Infosys and HCL, how things go. Of course, I'm expecting both these companies to come out with decent results, so it should not be a problem. But then when the US market is having recession fear, a lot of people would be considering IT sector in India also to underperform. So that is something which has to be watched out. So, however, I'm kind of confident on these companies. So, I've also got some real good investment in all these companies like CL, Infotech, Infosys, and TCS. So, I really don't mind about it. In fact, TCS has announced a special dividend of 67 rupees plus 8 rupees interim dividend. So, that's a good dividend. I would say it's almost like 2% range, which is really good. So, all of you who are holding TCS should be eligible for this, as the ex-dividend date is, I think, next week. So that's some important news from the results section. So that's it for today. I hope all of you enjoyed listening to this podcast. If you did love it, do click the like button. That, of course, motivates us. And if you feel there should be something more that we need to cover in our podcast, do comment below in this video and we will try to add that in the upcoming podcast. So with that, this is Srikant signing off, wishing you all a profitable expiry. See you tomorrow with more details on the market. Goodbye. Have a great day.